Hello and welcome to CIO News. I am Khushbu Soni, your host for the broadcast and chief editor at CIO News. This is our exclusive fireside chat on the topic of accelerating in the digital age, an exclusive CIO interview series powered by Logitech India. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website, that is cionews.co.in, and our CIO News LinkedIn handle. Let me dive in introducing my guest for today. He is Piyush Jha, the Chief of Technology and Strategy APAC and Senior Vice President Digital Solutions at Global Logic. Piyush has worked with top technology brains of the companies to devise and drive their key technology and industry offerings to its customers. Piyush also works with Fortune 500 companies to co-create their business transformation journey through the newest technology playthings. Piyush provides mentorship to large teams of niche digital change agents who thrive in innovation and building product to scale. He's also been, an active Forbes and NASSCOM Technology Council mentor for few new age technology and digital startups. Piyush, it's an absolute pleasure to have you.
I'm very glad to be on this platform, Khushbu. Thanks for getting me in.
Awesome, Piyush. Piyush, I'm sure this is going to be a great session. Our viewers are going to get good insights out of this. I framed the questions in such a way. First is to understand your journey, and obviously, also in the last 2-3 years with the challenges that we're facing, it's more around that as well. So my first question is, Piyush, if you can give a quick brief about Global Logic, that would be great.
Global Logic, a Hitachi company, is a leader in the digital transformation or business transformation space, like we love to call it. We work along with top companies in the world to co-create their products, implement and execute their vision, and bring their dreams to life. For example, if a product company wants to create their own next-gen platform or their own next-gen product, they would engage with someone like Global Logic to start working with them on their vision. Many times companies come to us with just an idea on the back of a napkin, like we call it. And within 6 months and a year's time, we see the apps on the App Store, we see the products live. So that's the exciting bit of what we do at Global Logic.
Right. Awesome. My next question is basically, how important do you think has collaboration and its platform proved to be effective when it comes to employees, vendor, and customer engagement initiatives?
Which platform are you talking about, Khushbu?
In general, how important do you think? Because one of the key challenges, in the last 2 years we've seen has been, providing seamless collaboration and communication between the employees, vendors, and customer engagement. So, just trying to understand your thoughts around how important has collaboration become as per you in these times and going forward.
So I think this entire COVID journey has shown us a lot of shades around, what collaboration would mean, what we can do and what we cannot do. If we start with about a year and a half ago, when the whole world was in the throes of the pandemic, we suddenly stopped all physical means. We suddenly stopped all real means of collaboration, communication, and the entire world started moving virtual. It seemed like the world is not really prepared for moving completely to a virtual age, to a virtual platform. Right. But we have proven to be wrong by technology. It seemed like the tech was always there. The tech was always around the corner, peeping aside through e-commerce apps and things like that. And we were kind of stopping that. So, suddenly you had everything moving to Zoom sessions. You had everybody delivering to your doorsteps. You had the entire paraphernalia of technology ready to support the entire virtual world, right?
Right.
As we moved across, we started feeling an overdue of tech. We started feeling an exhaustion through a lot of virtual collaboration, communication, and aspects around that. Thankfully, around the same period, the pandemic started to veer down a bit,
Yeah.
and we are not completely at a stage where we can resume all physical gatherings and all real world collaboration.
Right.
We have started to do that in bits and pieces, right? And that is a pretty exciting setup,
Hmm.
because you could allow people to work from home for most of their time, or for a lot of their time, or
Right.
work as per their convenience, and come together as needed. So we have smaller team outings, we have smaller team groupings, so that we don't become the fulcrum for spread of anything.
Yeah.
But we support and sustain the technology with all that we have, the virtual platforms that we have, with a good dose of real life amalgamation. And I think that is where, my personal opinion, that is where the future belongs. That
Yeah.
is where we are moving towards. People will be able and allowed to work as per their own convenience. uh, the technology will be there to fully support them. The technology, if anything, has only matured in the past couple of years,
Yeah.
and we will be able to support, sustain that with good real collaboration.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Um, And Piyush, my next question is, around in continuation to this. In fact, how are you monitoring your employees in the work from home model, and also adhering to compliance? This is one of the challenges a lot of organizations have faced. So, what are your typical challenges you face, and how did you kind of manage this?
The answer to the first part of the question is rather simple. We do not monitor employees, and we feel that monitoring employees or asking them to do stuff in today's day and age is not working out. There are Gen Zs, there are plethora of job options. If we really try and monitor them, will really not get anything out of them. That has not been the situation just today. That has been the situation for the past few years. We do not monitor people. We don't have card check-in checkouts. We do not have a logging of hours for every employee on what they are doing.
Yeah.
All that we do is empower people, and give them opportunities, and have asks ready for them.
Right.
So if a developer, for example, is supposed to be working on 25 story points during the week,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
just assign those 25 story points, and let the developer own the completeness and the quality of it.
Yeah.
Uh, and till the point that gets delivered to us, we are just good. Even if it is working through the nights for a couple of days during the week,
Yeah.
but till the point everybody is meeting their goals with
Yeah.
a stipulated amount of communication. So we have some core working hours where everybody is supposed to be online and active, so that any collaboration that is needed
Yeah.
is adhered to. Apart from that, we really do not impose any constraints on people on how they work. On the compliance bit, we have pretty robust standards of how people need to be working.
Right.
So, for example, some customers have their own VPNs, and people need to get on to the systems, come to the office VPN, and log into the customer VPN, and
Yeah.
only work from the customer VPN. In which cases we have enforced, and people will naturally need to work within the customer ecosystem.
Right.
Uh, if it is Global Logic VPN, people need to work within the Global Logic infrastructure, and not move outside. So compliance is a pretty strong agenda for us. We work with a lot of core IPs for a lot of customers. We can't really shortchange that, or we can't be lax on that front. And thankfully, we have people who are mature enough to be able to adhere to. They understand that the freedom that they get comes with a lot of responsibility. And we have our own compliance monitoring systems in place to be able to do that. But otherwise, we do not believe in having employees adhere to either timings or protocols or anything of that kind.
Good to hear that, honestly. My next question is, one of the key challenges organizations also faced was to collaborate seamlessly and communicate with employees and customers by delivering a good experience, while working remotely, and also embrace the digital transformation without compromising on the quality and wow experience. So, what are your perspectives, and how should organization approach this transformation from a collaboration perspective, and why is this so important?
So I think what we need to start off with accepting is that this hybrid or mixed mode of working is here to stay.
Yeah,
Possibly is not going anywhere. We will like to increase the office timing bit or the physical collaboration bit, but we do need to accept and appreciate that the amount of freedom it gives everybody,
yeah,
this is here to stay. Uh, and building on to what I had, talked about in the last question, we will need to empower and make our employees more independent. We will need to make anything that is available to them at their disposal, so that they don't spend or waste a lot of time figuring out network issues or traffic issues or things around that. They have all the tools at their disposal. There will be a further enhancement to the level of tooling the industry uses.
yeah,
In our parlance, many times we discuss about the fact that we need to apply the same digital transformation that we do for customers to our own companies, so that we have empowered employees with sufficient automation tools, sufficient homegrown self-development tools, so that people can get onto that bandwagon and start ensuring things.
right.
Uh, Beyond that, we'll need to ensure a minimum level of co-working amongst people.
Mhm.
So, developers and quality people working together on a release is a significantly important experience. We possibly cannot shortchange that.
Right,
So wherever we have such a setup, we should be open to calling in people if the pandemic and government regulations allow, and let them work together.
right,
Beyond that, we'll need to establish robust means of people being able to collaborate with each other. We have had teams working out in team sessions or Zoom or Hangout sessions for entire 5 to 6 hours, with a
mhm,
lot of them working on their own parts of the deliverables for a significant period of time, but being available for collaboration as needed.
right,
So I think the beauty of this all is in adapting and accepting a hybrid mode, in people being flexible to each other's needs, in mixing physical and virtual collaboration,
right,
and utilizing tools to the extent we can. We'll need to increase the amount of tooling that we have around, so that people can operate seamlessly.
right. Awesome. My next question is, in fact, to understand your perspective on what percentage of, work will be digital going forward. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the the definition of what is digital has been extremely fluid for our industry
Yeah,
all through. 15 years ago, if a company wanted to put up a website, that was digital.
yeah,
Even today, people could label it as digital, but almost everybody has a website, right? Almost everybody wants to sell on using e-commerce. They have pre-built packages that they've deployed, that can be used. So, what do we call digital is extremely important to qualify. If we keep up with the 15-20-year-old definition of what digital means, then possibly 80% work today that we do in the IT sector is digital. Possibly more. If we augment and develop and change that definition to what is digitally disruptive or what is digitally transformative. For example, if you if you wanted to get your order delivered and you were told that your order will be delivered on 25th of September, that was a big deal
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
But that's not a big deal today. You
Yeah.
expect to get to know whether my order will be delivered between 9 and 10:30 a.m. or 7 and 8:30
Yeah.
p.m.
Yeah.
So we need to augment that behavior. We need to change that behavior. Similarly, e-commerce players need to be able to give the shoppers a virtual experience, a virtual tour of their facilities, and allow them to choose and amalgamate new ways of doing the same. So our sense is that we're seeing about 30-35% of the business that we have in general in the industry to be digitally transformative in nature on a year-on-year basis.
Yeah.
But almost 80% of the business is digital.
Right. Right. Awesome. Good insights. Piyush. Before we end, I have one last question. For this is if you want to share any best practices for our, CIO, CTOs in the community, any learnings, do's and don'ts, that would be awesome.
I think the core learnings that we've had have been that we need to bunker down on and continue building on our philosophy to empower employees in a hybrid workplace, uh, being able to monitor everything that they would do, or being able to uh, direct everything that they would do is a strict no. We need to empower and trust our employees and build up from there. We also need to give them new attraction barriers because the old barriers have already broken. People used to get around a coffee table and have a conversation and be happy about it, but today they would be remote. Uh, so we'll need to make them, family lunch sessions with employees, or coffee sessions with people, even if they are virtual. We'll need to keep mixing the physical and the virtual. We'll need to develop pockets where people can come in and interact and still get a physical feel as regards to the entire company sitting for weeks in the office and interacting. We'll also need to do more tooling, apply our own digital transformation medicine to ourselves, and uh, provide those niche novel tools to our own people so that they can do what they want to do. And we also need to see that the power of transformation will be built up through tools, but it will not be totally up to the tools to do what we want to do. We'll
Yeah.
need to reimagine what the future would look like for a product that we are building.
Hmm.
That thought process will need to be extremely innovative and more innovative than it was in the past, and we'll be using tools to support that. I think these are my core submissions that we live by, and we have felt pretty happy about. For example, we have run motions about calling families in, or calling back alumni to work, which has been pretty effective. We'll need to appear like a much more living and breathing place
Yeah.
than we were earlier,
True.
and technology will take care of itself.
True. Very true. I think wonderful insights, Piyush. I'm sure we all the viewers are going to get good insights out of this. I'd love to
Thank you.
hear your thought process and your journey as well.
Sure. And I'm hoping it was beneficial for people.
Absolutely. Thank you so much once again for joining in.
Thanks for having me.